Once a semester, the woods outside Radford, Virginia transformed from an empty forest to an active training area. Over 200 cadets from Virginia Tech and Radford University assemble outside the city of Radford to conduct their battalion field training exercise. Up next, we take a look inside the New River Battalion's FTX.
Here we go, on the road, 27,
At 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, the advance party arrives on site. The advance party consists of senior cadets and cadre members who will begin setting up the training area. These cadets have spent the past month planning every detail of the training weekend, which will focus on skills needed for success at the Army Leadership Development Assessment Course, or LDAC. LDAC is a required event for cadets between their junior and senior years, and is the climax of 3 years of training on campus. This weekend's training will include tactical exercises, land navigation, and the Field Leader Reaction Course. Before training can begin, the advance party will set up the Tactical Operations Center, or TOC. The TOC will serve as the headquarters for the entire training event. One tent provides a sheltered command area for the computers, maps, and other electronic equipment, while 2 more tents provide storage for additional equipment and a warming area for cadets who have finished training events during the coldest parts of the weekend. By 7 p.m., buses begin to arrive bringing freshman and sophomore cadets to the Radford training area. To help create a more realistic and engaging training event, the site has been renamed Al-Faronadad, and a backstory and series of recent news events in the fictitious Afghan town have been written and passed out to cadets. The buses initially dropped the MS-1 and MS-2 cadets off at the gym, 3 miles from the TOC, but these cadets quickly learned that their training will include unexpected events that increase the realism of Al-Faronadad. Cadet Ashley Shepard arrived at the gym with the MS-2 platoon.
We stood out there and we were all like, what's going on? And then Sergeant Major comes out, it's chemical attack, and we're all like, okay. So basically what you want us to do is you want us to ruck from here and sleep outside. Thanks, Sergeant Major.
I kind of liked how we did the chemical attack, where we went to the gym, and then they said there was a chemical attack, and Sergeant Major made a fake radio call, told us that we had to march all the way down instead of pooches. I thought that was kind of cool because we were surprised.
After moving on foot from the gym to the TOC, MS-1 and MS-2 cadets receive new instructions and have time to set up sleep shelters before reassembling to get information on the upcoming day. While these cadets receive new information and take a few minutes to enjoy hot food and drinks from the warming tent, MS-4 cadets are busy assembling and checking out paintball equipment for the morning. All of the equipment needs to be in working order and ready to go, so training can begin at first light. As soon as enough paintball markers are in working order, MS-1 cadets file through, pick up equipment for the morning, and then head to the sleep area to get some rest before continuing training. The MS-3 platoon leaves later than the rest of the battalion and travels to a separate land navigation training site at Selu, a nature preserve outside of Radford. Here they will conduct first night and then day land navigation, using a compass and map to find a series of points. The night course lasts 3 hours and 5 points, with 3 points necessary to pass. The day land navigation course lasts for 5 hours and 8 points, and cadets need to find 5 of those points to pass. While MS-3s at Selu are still trickling in from night land navigation, back at Al-Faronadad, MS-1s and 2s are waking up and reassembling at the TOC. Senior MS-4 cadets have reviewed potential safety risks associated with the paintball exercises for the day and prepared steps to mitigate these risks. All freshmen receive a safety briefing and full safety equipment before departing the TOC. Sergeant Major Ferroni takes a moment to orient the MS-1s to the paintball training area. Then the MS-1s head up the hill and towards the starting locations for the paintball sticks lanes. A sticks lane is a squad tactical exercise, the most basic training event used to prepare cadets for tactical leadership. A typical sticks lane lasts for 90 minutes, with the time separated into several distinct segments. First, several cadets are selected as squad leaders and fire team leaders. The squad leader receives the mission from a cadre member or senior cadet, who will also evaluate the freshman's performance and give them feedback to help them improve for the future. After receiving the mission, the squad leader has a few minutes to prepare his or her plan, then brief the plan to the rest of the squad. After briefing the plan and conducting rehearsals, the squad departs from their original location and moves toward the objective. The squad's exercise begins in the patrol base, where the planning phase takes place. When they are ready to begin the mission, the squad leader leads them across the line of departure, or LD. From here, the squad will move in one of several tactical formations, traveling along a predetermined route. A cadet in the front of the formation uses a compass to keep the squad on track, while a second cadet uses a previously established 100-meter pace count to track how far the squad has gone. As the squad travels along the route, they will establish several en-route rally points. These points will be used if the squad is ambushed or receives indirect artillery fire and needs to fall back in a hurry. The squad members will all fall back individually or in pairs and regroup at the last rally point before continuing the lane. As the squad approaches the objective, they will establish an objective rally point, or ORP. Here they will establish security and make final preparations to carry out the mission, while the squad leader and several supporting cadets conduct the leader's recon to gather as much information as possible before executing their attack. When they have gathered as much information as possible within their allotted time, the squad leader will lead them back to the ORP and pass any new information along to the fire team leaders and the rest of the squad.
Hey, they're gonna sneak down a flank. I'm gonna go around.
One highlight of this year's spring field training exercise was the freshman force-on-force paintball lane, which allowed freshman cadets to service both the offensive and defensive forces. The addition of paintball markers helps to keep cadets focused on using proper movement techniques to avoid getting hit by paintball markers. After completing the mission, cadets will conduct an after-action review where they bring up problem areas and generate solutions to improve their performance in the future. Cadre and senior cadets also provide observations based on their greater experience. Effective training and support from cadre and senior cadets has allowed Virginia Tech and Radford to perform first in the nation at LDAC both in 2006 and 2007, and the lessons that made cadets successful are diligently passed on to new classes every year.
Safeties for each person that's on the rope.
With record enrollment the last few years, it has been possible to have cadets doing more training at one time. While the MS-1 platoon practices on sticks lanes, MS-2 cadets are able to train on the Field Leader Reaction Course, or FLRC. The FLRC course is the latest addition to the Radford training site and is modeled on the FLRC course at Fort Lewis used during LDAC. The 8 different stations on the Radford FLRC course give cadets a new environment to practice leadership outside of sticks lanes.
I want to slip, it would have worked. I want to slip, it would have worked.
Each station provides an obstacle that cadets have to overcome, as well as materials they can use to complete the obstacle. While the obvious objective on a station is to complete the objective, cadet evaluators are more focused on the leadership skills shown by cadets than the actual completion. While sticks lanes allow cadets to show leadership under tactical situations in a relatively linear style, FLRC allows them to focus on problem solving and including all members of the squad in the decision process.
Hey, man. Hey, don't worry about it.
One of the most popular stations requires cadets to move an ammunition box across a simulated trench where the bridge has been knocked out. Cadets are given 3 boards of varying lengths and have to figure out the best way to utilize those boards and move them into position to get the ammunition box and all members of the team across. Most quickly learn that the station is more complex than it originally seems.
This is the hardest one because of the leverage. Yeah.
You actually
Got it.
okay. There we go. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna slide it right down on your foot. Okay, good. You good? Set it right on top of this foot.
The squad leader
On that rope.
gets briefed what the mission is,
Coming to your
and it's their duty to communicate with their squad what they got to do, not knowing beforehand what kind of problems they're going to have, how their plan's going to turn out. So they got to think on the spot, they got to make decisions, and they got to lead people to get through this, or else it's not going to happen. It includes delegation, it includes a level of trust in their peers, and it causes them to work as a team.
For sophomore cadets, the FLRC course provides one of the first evaluated leadership opportunities, and many find it to be an invaluable start to the leadership evaluations.
You gotta figure out what we're doing good as a leader, to maybe lead more, maybe take a step back, or just kind of evaluate ourselves too, to see what we're doing right and wrong.
It definitely gave me a chance to be in charge, and I got to disseminate what I wanted done, and I got feedback, and I deemed team leaders and everything to kind of get the job done, and I ended up with